Does Marvel Contest of Champions have a mystic problem? Still. Yes, hello everybody, we're doing one of those videos where we look at whether or not there is a problem based on the extent and how many there are of different types of classes, and as well looking at the problems we've had over the last 2 years of a mystic based champion problem of not many mystics actually being added into the game. By the way, there is some good news in this video and also there's some bad news. So let's try and overlook the bad news and focus on the good news. The good news is over the last couple of years, yes, we have seen a drought in Mystic Champions being added into the game, but also we've seen the resurgence of it, especially in the last 3 to 4 months. Dr. Doom being one of my favourite current champions, as well being a Mystic, Black Widow Claire Voyant being a solid entry of 2019, and not to mention the fact we've got the introduction of Mojo and Longshot, which is not actually featured on this list, and obviously link to this is in the description down below, and also what will be coming in next months, which is going to be a Sorcerer Supreme. God, I nearly messed up the pronunciation of that. Even though this champion that's going to be added in has some links to Marvel Realm of Champions, which, let's face it, isn't exactly good, but also isn't exactly bad. It's not bad because, you know, it's just another champion's been added in as Mystic and it could be quite powerful. And obviously the bad side of things, and I think the bad news, is that we're having more of this integration of the second game with the first game, and I was kind of hoping that the only thing you'd really see is some newer variants, or like some stuff like the Immortal one, Ancient one version of Doctor Strange, maybe a new version of like Hulk or Scar, and some others as well that's maybe more unique. I'm not saying this isn't unique, I'm not saying this is a huge problem, it's just a case of like both games seem to be intertwining a bit too much for my liking, and I would have liked to have seen more of a partition away, and maybe the focus could have been more on the story side of things rather than more of these champions being added in. But, you know, again, that's another story for another day, and yes, it's another Mystic being added in, and maybe it will be really good and an amazing god tier, and obviously that's something to bear in mind as well. Now, in the list, it does say that Mojo, Longshot, Moleman, and Terex are included, but if you scroll down, you don't actually see Terex in the, the scrolling down. And as well, when you look at the certain ones, it's good to see this updated on this site, but as well, it's important to give you the numbers, because that is going to be important as well. What are the numbers for each individual classing, and as well, where are we up to when it comes to which one's the most imbalanced? Now, when you compare that to the totals, and let's give some numbers. So basically, if we include Cosmics with Terex, then we've got 31 in total. If you're looking at mutants and you include the Weapon X Wolverine variant, which is a special Legends run titleage and champion, and as well the new Storm, which is the Pyramid X version, then you're looking at 28. When it comes to Mystic, and as well adding in the new Doctor Strange variant, which is going to be that female character, which is a Sorcerer Supreme, and you've got 26. You've got Science on 26. You put Moleman in, you got up to 28 on skill, and finally 29 for tech. So basically, in a nutshell, we don't really and overly have a huge problem with Mystic. So it is going to be interesting to see between the months of May to December which of these various classes gets the bump in number. There's not many god tier tech champions, so I feel that there should be much of a resurgence to push that. And as well, the same thing has to be for Science. As I said, more god tier champions are really needed. Maybe a new version of Hulk will probably be put in, but again, that's just me being a little bit kind of skeptical, especially based on MROC based champions. But yeah, let's face it, Mystic does need a little bit. And just to clarify that point just a little bit more, because it does seem that I haven't really taken into consideration that Kabam have actually added more Mystic champions, especially over the last 6 months. And that is basically saying that now we've got it up to the point and level that it is, it needs to be added on to. So I would largely say that Kabam would need to put in 2 to maybe 3 more Mystic champions before the end of the year, just to make sure that they're keeping up to date with the numbers. Because let's face it, we've got Cosmic and we've got Tech pushing up the numbers high, Mutant wise, man, I feel there's going to be more of a push towards mutants by the end of the year, and not to mention the fact that skill, well, obviously there seems to be some months with skills added in and it just kind of adds on a little bit more, but it's nice to see months where it's not just like 2 of every class being added in, which, let's face it, February was all about putting that mojo and long shot in, which is then that double mystic month. So it was nice to see that this month is a skill and a cosmic, but at the same time, those are 2 classes that don't overly need a push, and it is a case that we seem to have more of a push and need when it comes to science, and as well that it seems to be for mystic. There are still a whole host of Marvel mystical characters that still could be added into game, and it is my hope at one stage we get Wiccan. Also, not to mention the fact that we got Uma, we've also got Topaz, we've got Pixie, we've got Amanda Sefton, we've got Clear, we've got Shaman. That'd be a cool character to add in. We've got the likes of Nico Minoru, if I can say that correctly, Talisman, we've got Enchantress, Morgan Le Fay, we've got Selena, we've got Santra, we've got Jennifer Kale, you know, and this is just that, this is some of them obscure, some of them are just normal ones. Agatha Harkness, that does play into another theory. We've got as well Hellstrom. Hellstrom is another mystical based character, which I have real massive hope that we can actually see this character in the future, but still a load of mystical characters that still could make the cut to come into game. Unless Kabam feel that they've got an idea for a mystic based champion that is going to be released of their own making this year. Now we have it, that has been a video just have a look and analysing all the extent of these classing kind of issues, and especially when it comes to mystic. It does seem that the problem has been solved for the time being, with everything leveling out. But when it comes to the months of May, figuring out how we're going to do things for the end of the year and adding in these other mystical based characters, which, look, could either put us over the threshold and get us close to where tech are at 29, and as well like what's going to happen with skill and science and then build up to the same way with cosmic. Either way, with mystical based champions, there could be a lot more to be added. Mutants I see expanding quite a lot this year, especially based on some content and as well as certain champions that link off from the puzzle, which, let's face it, we're going to have to go back to and re-evaluate at a later date. But it does seem for the time being, as I said, the mystical problem has been solved, or at least leveled out. This will be probably an update video that I'll do towards the end of the year and kind of let you know where we are with certain champions. There's a lot of decent ones that are being added in that are mystic, and definitely ones that you want to utilize and take to different content. A lot of utility. Black Widow Claire Voyant, Doctor Doom, Longshot, Mojo, all have their own values, and I really hope that the Sorcerer Supreme will actually be one of those god tier, or if not better champions, especially with the level of power this champion should possess. But we'll see what happens when the champion's details are released very soon. In any case, thank you very much for watching this video. Check out some recent content up here, check out some supporting links down here, and as well, I shall see you in the live stream, which will probably be at some point today. If it's the weekend, then there's not going to be a live stream, but if it's Monday through to Friday, then it's going to be 9 PM over on the second channel or on Twitch. So thanks for dropping by, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.